show you some secrets about English, starting with confusing words and actually words that you personally confuse a lot. We have negative prefixes. And I want to show you something very interesting. What happens if I tell you that, let's take, for example, the word, any description, okay? I'm going to take the word interesting, okay? And I'm going to show you this word, 311. 311. Over here. So you have this sentence, this adjective, interesting. What is, little trivia, what is the correct suffix, no, prefix, if you want to say it as a negative thing? Option A, uninteresting. Option B, uninteresting. Option C, disinteresting. And option D, as you can see, is not D, anti-interesting. I bet, and I'm very, very sure, you are thinking about the first two, either on or in. I don't know if you were thinking in this. What do you think?
I think it's the first one.
Uninteresting?
Don't ask me why.
That's a good
I
question.
just,
Okay.
it's the one that sounds better for me.
For you. Okay, okay. That's a good what's the name of this? Well, that's a good option. That's a good thing to chase the thing that sounds good to you. What about, for example, Elsie? Which one sounds good to you?
I think that Elsie is not here.
Oh, what happened to Elsie? But she was online.
Mm,
She actually entered. Well, okay. Carlita then. Which one seems better to you?
Maybe letter C, that's interesting.
That's interesting. Okay. Okay. Are you familiar with the word disinteresting, or have you heard that word before? Or you're thinking that in a Spanish word?
Maybe it's this teacher. I don't remember.
The last one, right? Because
Yes.
this is a tricky question. This is actually a tricky question. The word this actually it's not a suffix in English. The actual word is uninteresting. Option C was or doesn't exist in English. But we have the word this or the prefix this. This one exists. Not des. Des is Spanish, actually. So
Okay.
in the case of Silvana, your instinct was totally right. Probably you have heard this word before. I don't know if you use it, but there you have it. Okay. Now,
yes,
yes.
I haven't used it, but it sounds good.
Yes, yes, that's precisely the issue. Like, we are probably familiar to the words, And we understand them when we listen to them. But when we try to say it, we prefer to say not, or which is not incorrect. As we have said many, many times in the past, it's technically correct, but we have other options that sound more advanced, right? So this is going to be the observations that we are going to do today, okay? Which are the correct ways to negate some nouns and adjectives. We can negate adjectives, we can negate nouns, and prefixes, by definition, is technically this. Tell me with the definition. Is Isaac there with you?
No.
Yes.
No. Sorry. You cannot sleep in this moment. Go, brother. Give me the definition of prefix.
Yes, prefix. A letter or group of letters added at the beginning of a word to change its meaning, such as un,
You are very, 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 very far away from the
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, let me repeat.
Yes.
A letter or group of letters added to the beginning of a word to change its meaning, such as un in unhappy and pre in preheat.
Mhm. That's right. Pronunciation in English, pre,
Pre,
not pre,
okay, preheat.
preheat. Mhm.
Okay.
So as you can see, some prefixes are not necessarily for negatives, but we are not going to cover the other group. The other group is pretty easy to understand it. The ones that I am very interested in is in checking the negative ones, because the word unhappy, for example, is a great example why I want to see this word. How do you say unhappy in Spanish? Say it, don't worry.
Infeliz.
You know, Isaac is like, oh my God, no, I cannot say this, you know? Yeah, say it. No, no, no fear.
I think that is infeliz.
You are totally correct. Yes, you are very nice people and you don't say bad words, but that's precisely my point. If you say the word infeliz in Spanish, you can see that technically it can be very difficult to translate prefixes because they are different. Prefixes or negative prefixes are very tricky to the Spanish mind because they may change constantly. When we are trying to translate, we are going to find these type of challenges where the prefix doesn't match the Spanish equivalent. So obviously it's incorrect to say happy, you know. How do we do that? Let's see. I have some tips. I found a video that I want to show you, and I want you to take some notes. Let's see if you can actually get some information from it. Please check this out.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Iwa channel. Here you will find everything you need to learn English. Hi, my name's Noti from Fun and Dynamic English. Today we have a very special class. It'll be all about prefixes. For example, the prefix un is added to happy to form unhappy. I'm happy, now I'm unhappy. And also, if you'd like to subscribe to the Iwa English YouTube channel the English language has, stay tuned until the very end of this video and I will let you know all about them. And I'm going to tell you a little trick how to express a negative adjective if you can't remember which the correct prefix is. It's going to be really useful. Let's start. Today we will only focus on these prefixes. It's really useful to learn them because it's a way to increase your vocabulary, turning a positive word that you know into a negative one. Look at this grid. In each column we've got a different negative prefix, and below each of them you will have the positive adjective that then we will turn into negative using the prefixes above. Is it clear? Let's start. Prefix an. Words that begin with un can begin with a consonant or a vowel. For example, look at the first adjective, believable. If someone makes an excuse why they are late for their class or for work, they have a believable excuse, a believable reason why they were late. Unbelievable. The prefix un makes a positive adjective become negative, like me. So, if something is unbelievable, you don't believe it. Exactly, little naughty. But if you think that something doesn't sound believable, I don't think I believe that doesn't sound right, then I think you are lying, then that is unbelievable. So another one is, if you're certain about something, you are very sure about it. You know it's true. But if you're not certain about that, you are uncertain. This means that you are not sure. Very good. Kind. When people behave nicely, they are kind to each other. And then the opposite is unkind. Again, for example, if someone does something not very nice, that was so unkind of you, naughty. Good. Lucky. If you're lucky, if you're a lucky person, if you go in for competitions or the lottery and you get the money, you win the prize, well, you are a lucky person. Good things happen to you. Or just life in general, you feel I've been very lucky getting a good job, finding somewhere nice to live, I've got great friends, I'm a lucky person, I'm very lucky. But if it's the opposite, and a lot of things go wrong all the time, or you never win a prize or anything or a competition, then naughty, I have to tell you, you are unlucky. Okay, next word, confirmed, unconfirmed, not confirmed or agreed or fixed, interesting, uninteresting, helpful, unhelpful. It means that it's not helpful, like you, naughty. Okay, now let's move on to the next column. So,
This column, do you see what was this brother's intention? Did you understand it? Hello.
More or less, teacher.
More or less.
I didn't catch the whole part of the video.
Okay. What questions do you have?
No, I didn't catch the tip to use on the
Oh.
different words. Yes, I lost my connection for some moments.
Oh, okay,
So
okay, okay.
I didn't catch. Yes.
Don't worry, I can give it to you. The word
I-
on, because one of the things that he was saying is, how do you know if it's going to be in, on, or ill, or what? And one of the tips that he said was that you should use the consonant or adjectives that start with consonants are usually negated with the prefix on. And you have words like believable, certain, kind, lucky, confirmed, interesting, helpful, etc. Because
Okay.
if you notice, all of them start with consonant, except for interesting. That's why it says usually. It's not always.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Right? So that's a very nice way to start. It's like, okay, the word starts with consonant. The best approach I have is to use on.
I remember that he says at the beginning that you could use a vowel or a consonant, and I thought that maybe later the other prefixes you can use it with consonant.
Correct. Exactly. There are some others that are like more sure, but there is always an exception. Eh? Be careful. Those rules are just a guide for you to know the majority. And then when you see the exception, memorize the exception. That's the way I attack it. I usually I find the pattern and I find the majority of them. Whenever I see an exception, I take it as a special word and I memorize this special word. I take for granted that the rest I will know, but I memorize the particular one. Let's see the rest, right? The first rule is precisely on plus consonant or vowel. Let's check the others.
This, the prefix this. For example, to be in comfort. There is room for 4 people in my car to travel in comfort. I think there's no room for 4 people in this car. They'll travel in discomfort. Comfort, discomfort. Easy, Nochi? Yeah, it's easy. What about this one? Agree. So if you agree with someone, you say, yes, yes, I think so. I think so too. I agree. But if you don't agree with them, then you disagree. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you here. Okay. Appear. If someone appears, you see them. Oh, hello. A friend comes into the room. For example, they appear. Okay? But then, if he goes away, you can say, oh, he's disappeared. Where has he gone? As I promised at the beginning of this video, I'm going to teach you how to express the negative version of an adjective if you can't remember the correct prefix. It's really easy. Normally, you use a prefix with an adjective to change the meaning. For example, happy and happy. But if you can't remember the correct prefix, you can always use the word not before the adjective. It would mean the same thing. For example, if you say, I am happy, I am not happy. It's fine. Or cool. Negative adjective is uncool. But if you don't remember that, you can say not plus adjective, not cool. There is no difference in meaning between uncool or not cool. However, you will sound more fluent and natural if you use the right word. For example, uncool. If you use prefixes, you will sound more like a native or more fluent, or you will sound nicer, I don't know. Next prefix, ill.
What do you think? Right? There was, as you saw, what was the rule for this?
Begin with a vowel.
Began with a vowel except conform. So technically, there was no rule in this case. He only said like, with this, we have disagree. And we have disappear and we have discomfort. But really, there was no pattern. So I think let's take it as an special suffix. Memorize the words that start with this. The words that start with on, consider it like the normal, and the ones that are special are discomfort, disagree, disappear. You see? There are others. Orient. Negative, disorient. Mount, like mounting a television on the wall. Mounting, dismount. Do you agree? So it doesn't start with vowel. You know, technically it's very difficult to find rules for these words. Anyway, it's nice to make a division, no? And find the corresponding suffix. No specific rule when we are talking about this. Oh, this. Agree? Any question?
Yes, teacher.
Teacher, what
Yes,
is
Isaac.
mount?
What is mount? Like setting a television on the wall. You mount a TV.
Okay, I get it.
Mhm.
Yes.
And be careful. Mount, not mount.
Mount.
Perfect. Mounted. Okay. Also on a horse, when you put the chair on the horse, you are mounted it. And then when you take it down, you dismount it. Different suffixes. The next.
Words that take ill as a prefix always begin with the letter L. For example, legal, meaning allowed by the law. Illegal, not allowed by the law. Is abortion legal in your country? For example, in my country, Argentina, abortion was illegal until last year. Logical. It means using reason. For example, it was a logical thing to do, meaning the decision was a reasonable one when all the facts were considered. It was really logical. It makes sense that you did that. Illogical. It means not reasonable or wise or practical. That's an illogical statement, Noti, because if one part is true, then the other must be false. Okay? Literate. It means able to read and write or having the knowledge of a particular subject. For example, you can be a computer literate. Are you a computer literate? Illiterate. Unable to read and write. A surprising percentage of population is illiterate. Good. Now, prefix. Words that
Oops, I'm talking to myself. Before we go to M, let's analyze what pattern did you identify on the words that are negated with ill.
Well, that you can use it with words that start with L. No?
Exactly. So we have legal. In the video, we have legal, logical, and literate. I can give you also legible.
Can we use it with luxury, for example?
Luxury, it's not an adjective.
Luxury, okay.
Luxury is a noun. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have a negative.
Okay.
Another one would be me give you more. Let me give you more. Lawful. Ah, no, no, no. No, 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 no. Liberal. Legitimate. Illicit. Limitable. New words, right? Oh, yes. Questions?
No.
Okay. So remember, if it starts with L, remember it's an adjective, eh? If an adjective starts with L and it has a negative, try with ill. Ill is a nice way to say it. If it doesn't exist, it will sound strange naturally. And the question that Isaac had was very important. Luxury is possible. It's not possible because it's not an adjective. Be careful. We are only using prefixes for adjectives, verbs, and some nouns. You know, which is not that common. It's usually used for only verbs and adjectives. Let's go to the next one. M.
M prefix. M. Words that use the M prefix always begin with B, N, or P. For example, perfect. It means the best possible type without fault, without errors. It's perfect. You have a perfect English accent, mini Noti. Imperfect. Damage or containing problems, like you, Noti, you're damaged. Mortal. Unable to continue living forever. For example, we are all mortal. We will die eventually. Immortal. Not mortal. You cannot die, like gods are immortal. Possible. Able to be done or achieved. Is it possible to buy tickets for tomorrow's show? Is it possible? Can we do it? Possible. Impossible. Not possible. If an action or event is impossible, it means that it can't happen or be achieved. Okay, so I hope all...
Who can tell me the pattern in this case? Let's go with Elsie. Did you detect the pattern of adjectives that are negated with M?
When the word begins with
Excellent.
P.
With P. Another two.
I detect only P. P.
Okay, so we have other B is or letter P is one of the three letters that apply because it can be also with when it starts with B, as in for example in for example balance. We have balance, which is a verb. In negative, imbalance. Or it can be a noun too. Also, we have words like moral, negative, immoral, potent, in negative, impotent, practical, negative, impractical, partial, negative, impartial. I think the P is a very nice way, but the difficult ones are the ones that start with M. For example, nice or measurable, which when you are talking in negative, it becomes immunize and immeasurable. Mature. Let's eliminate immunize and let's go to mature because immunize by itself doesn't exist, but mature, yes. This can help you with the word in Spanish is inmaduro, ¿no? Ajá, which is an N. Inmadurez. So when you talk in English, be careful. It's not immature. You know? This rule will help you. And those are the tips that you can start thinking about. The rest have no specific rule. On the rest, we have, for example, words like none. And then we have, for example, words like conformist, essential, fiction, which is in this case a noun.
With necessary.
Exactly. Necessary. When are you saying that, are you asking or are you saying that necessary is here?
No, I was asking, but yes, I have
Okay.
seen it with not necessary.
Not necessary. It's very interesting. Happens in none, but it exists also on
Unnecessary, yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah.
So this one
I
is
have
tricky.
seen also none with allowable, no? Non-allowable.
Non-allowable. Yes, of course. Non-allowable or non-allowed.
Yeah.
Passive. Let's write it. Right? And there is another word that is sense. This is pretty interesting. Check this out. This is blue and this is blue. So it's not only for adjectives, it exists in other formats. There is another one. Ear. In words like rational, concealable, regular, resistible. Do you have any example with this or any can you think of another one? Come on, say it. Without fear.
Irresistible.
Irresistible. It's right here. Resistible. Another one.
Irrelevant.
Excellent. Very good. Let's see. Mhm. Responsible. Any other? I want to give you one more that is more difficult. Reversible. Something that you can bring back to the original state is reversible. If you cannot go back to the original state, it's irreversible. Oh, refutable. And there is a pattern here, except for conceivable, concealable, there is a pattern. All of them starts with R. So think about it. There is another one. Ah. Oops. Just like that. I know it sounds funny, but it's only ah. For example, a person that has no political views or no political sense is apolitical. A person that has no God is an atheist. And a person that has no sexual orientation is called asexual. And the pronunciation can be a or a. Apolitical, apolitical. Atheist, atheist. Asexual, asexual. And both are correct. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think?
There are many rules.
Can you repeat? But get closer to the.
Yes, there are many rules as well.
There are many rules. There
But
are
I think
many-
that
Uh-huh.
it make easier to identify the prefix that we have to
Mhm.
we have to use.
Exactly.
Because yeah, sometimes I forget how to say something, but now I think that is easier to identify.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important because a good tip that was in the video was, say not political, not responsible. But if you want to sound better, and if you want to sound more proper, use a prefix. It has a better sense. And this is tip, just find the patterns. Check a list and identify patterns. There are many, many words. And which one is the most common? Which one has the most prefixes or the most negatives?
I think it's on.
Exactly. This is the most common. So that can help you too. If you are not sure, you have 65% probabilities to catch the correct one if you say on. You know?
But if it is not correct, then you.
Well, I said 65, no? I didn't say like 95%. No, that's gonna be very difficult, but 62, okay. You have a chance to have a correct word. There you have it, people. Negative prefixes. We are going to exercise this during the following classes. Let's do, before we leave, let's do some exercises on words that you are not very familiar with. Is there, in this list, is there any word you are not familiar with?
With hell. I don't know how to pronounce.
Hell.
If prepare.
Hell comes from the word. Actually, let me see if it exists as a single word, because I don't think so. Oops. Jesus. Oh my. Hell. Adjective. No, I need a verb. No, it doesn't exist. Hell, I put it here because if you put the word. No, it should be in. Sorry. Forget about this one. Yeah, no. Forget about this one. Let's put another one. I was thinking in inhale, brother.
Okay, yes.
I was thinking in the word inhale, exhale. But this is not a negative.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
I get it. Yeah.
Forget about it. That's not necessary. Better let's use on healthy. I almost forget one. We have on, we have M, but we never saw in. So let's take another one. In is the exception to the rule. With words like accurate, eligible, organic, decent, and sane. We have an issue because, again, there is no pattern. Most of the cases we have vowels, a, e, I, o, vowels, accurate, eligible, and organic. But not always. We have also consonants. See? Let's write examples. Decent, sane, eligible, accurate. In a moment, explore the words. Please observe this list and tell me if you don't know any word. Meanwhile, Jessie passes attendance. Goodbye, Jess.
Good night, Mr. Good night, everyone.
Hello.
I will take attendance, please. Is here Elsie? Hello, Elsie. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Thank you, Elsie. Isaac? Hello,
Hello,
Isaac.
here.
Good
No,
night. Thank you.
thanks.
Are you there, Silvana?
She's a little busy right now. She's
Oh,
attending some businesses.
all right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Denise. Hello, Denise. Good night.
Hello, Jessie. Good night.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Have a good night and good rest. See you tomorrow.
You too,
See
Milady.
you.
See you,
Thank you. Good night.
There. So look, independent, invalid, insane. Do you have any question on the words that we have in front? The words that we have in front.
What is the meaning of this? Oh, no, no. Forget.
Sure, sure.
Sure.
What were you looking for?
Oh, no, yes, yes. Uh, San, Saint?
Same.
Huh?
Mhm. Actually, it's pretty cognate. Do you remember what's a cognate?
Yes.
So there's a word in Spanish that talks about a person that has no good sense of reality. Some people will consider this as synonym of crazy. A crazy person is insane.
Okay.
Or the opposite of healthy. The opposite of healthy is insane too. Sane and healthy are synonyms.
But it's not only about mental issues, is
In
or
English, I think yes.
because if I think in insane, I imagine mental issues,
Yeah.
but sane only maybe a healthy person.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh,
And it's informal, but in a very common way, because recently the word insane has become more common in an informal setting. Anyway, in a formal setting, it sounds a little different. Having a serious mental illness, you see? So you are technically correct, but talking about formal settings. If you hear the word insane in a court of law, and the judge says there is an insane offense on the person, then he is talking about mental illness. If a doctor calls you insane, then you are talking about a mental illness. But if Jonathan in high school says, "Whoa, that's insane," or "You're insane, dude," that's a different insane.
okay.
Context in this particular word is context is important. That's it. What about eligible? Everybody knows what's illegible?
No. No, I think that
Okay.
is maybe like when you qualify for something.
Correct. You are eligible.
Yeah.
And if you don't qualify for something, you are ineligible.
Mhm.
Okay, no problem with that one. What about refutable? That's very similar to Spanish, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no problem with that one. Just please pronounce it correctly, okay? I know it
Uh,
sounds
How do you pronounce it?
refutable.
Refutable?
Refutable. Mhm.
Refutable. Okay.
Careful, letter E, not re.
Refutable?
Refutable.
Refutable. Okay.
Negative,
Refutable.
irrefutable.
Irrefutable.
Perfect. Mhm, mhm, mhm. That's pretty much it. Patterns. Patterns everywhere. There's always a pattern. With regular verbs, there is always a pattern. With negatives, there's always a pattern. With prefixes and suffixes, there's always a pattern. Formulas and structures, all of those are patterns. You just need to see it. Whenever you identify the pattern, English becomes easy. That's pretty much it for today. In a nutshell, identify on, this, ill. I repeat, on, this, ill, im, and ear. And the rest, just memorize. Is there any question?
No, teacher.
No, teacher, thank you.
Fantastic, because we are done for the night. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for coming. I hope you learned something useful today.
Good
Thank you,
night,
teacher.
everyone.
Then good night.
Night, night.
I see you. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.